So I've been sent a letter, and on the back of it, it says, before you open this, grab a coin and start recording. You'll want this on camera. So what does that mean? Okay, welcome back to episode 71 this week. This bad boy going to the Cayman Islands is nearly complete this week. Keep watching to see how that comes together. And I'm not here, I'm away on site with JMO. But first, a bit of a surprise. So I've been sent a letter, and on the back of it, it says, before you open this, grab a coin and start recording. You'll want this on camera. So what does that mean? You got a coin, have you not?
Got a knife.
Knife. I need a bit more than a knife. Not what I'm going to need a coin for. I'm going to guess somebody's going to say you need to toss a coin. Hold on. I know what I've got. Somewhere.
See, that was a scratch off.
Pocket full of loose change out of my old car. So, right, I've got a coin. Let's see what this is all about. So, Northamptonshire Business Excellence Awards have sent me this. Scratch here to reveal great news. Well, look at that. Congratulations, you are a finalist for Businessman of the Year. How cool is that? I wonder who's organised that. Handwritten envelope. I have no idea who's done that or why that's come about. But it looks as though I have been nominated to be a finalist for Businessman of the Year for Northamptonshire Business Excellence Awards. So what I'll do now is I will delegate that to Andrea, who can sort that out, and we'll see how that takes us. 6 o'clock Monday morning, me and JMO are just about to jump in the van, head down to Avonmouth. We've got 3 days down there on a shredder. I got off a plane at 2 o'clock this morning. Did get some sleep on the plane, not a huge amount. Could be an interesting day on that basis. But yeah, JMO's last week this week. JMO leaves us later on this week. So, sad week for JMO, sad week for us as well. How long have you been here, JMO?
4 years now.
4 years. And he's moving on to other things. He's heading north. He's not staying around here, he's heading north. That's why he's leaving us. So we wish him well for the future.
Thank you.
So let's catch up in Avonmouth. Now, if you're a regular viewer of the channel, you might recognise this shredder. We've done work on this one before down at Avonmouth. So we're here today to do some work on the reject door, which is in there, which I'll show you in a minute, and a few other bits and bobs. Me and JMO are here for 3 days this week, so let me show you what we're going to do. So that door there doesn't look like a door, but that plate there at the top is a long pin that goes through, and that's supposed to come back this way. And in here, with this mechanism here, there's this solid piece here, goes through a hole in the hood, and that hole there marries up with this hole here, and a pin goes through there. It's a shear pin, so it's designed that if anything heavy goes through it, it hits that door, and that door tries to go that way, shears the pin, and the idea is it moves and releases. So that's what it does. Now what's happened here is this is gone, and it's become that tight that the customer has had to get a machine in here to push that back down to get it lined up. So what we've done is we've done some bracketry here So there'll be a hydraulic ram pushing that in when it breaks in the future. But the first things first, we've got to get this door released, because this door has been like that for some time. And believe it or not, the wood gets jammed in both ends. And see in this end as well. So I've just welded 2 lifting eyes on there. We're going to put a chain across here, like a washing line, and then we've got 2 1.5 ton chain blocks that we're going to use to try and jack that back out. I think the door comes out and lines up with that there, that edge. So I've got them welded on now. We're going to get this rigged up here, and we'll catch up in a bit and see how we get on. So we've got the 2 chain hoists on here now. So both of them chain hoists are 1.5 tons each. We've got 3 ton pulling on that, and that is just starting to move. But we've just put some duck oil down just to see if we can get the wood dust down the end to soften up, and see if we can get it to swing free. I don't think it's ever going to swing free, because I imagine it's probably tight on the pin at the top. But if we can get it into the position it should be, and then get all the gubbins behind it sorted, that'll do the trick. So we've put the hood back down now. The reject door is in the right place. Shear pin is in there. So this is connected to the back of the door. When the door gets an object hit it, it shears that pin there, and this comes up here. Okay? And then what we've done is, this is something that we made a little while ago actually to go on it. This here, with that hydraulic ram in there, is going to fit up here. The idea being that that plate at the bottom, when this comes up here, the plate above will come and just hydraulically push it back down, and then they'll be able to slip the pin through. But there was a element of guesswork with this, because that's shorter than it should be. That originally should be here, somewhere here, but because that was bent and buckled, that's been cut off to tidy it up, and I don't know quite where that should have been. So we've done what we thought was best, but now we've got to actually make it work. And depending on how far down this comes, if it comes down as low as this, we're going to have to weld some plates across these faces here, just to keep everything in line where it should be. So we're going to start marking up and tacking on some plates on here. We've got these plates here, which are going to go somewhere like that, and then we've got this whole arrangement up here. Ooh. That's going to go and be bolted on the side like that. That one will stay in, and that one there will get removed when you want to fold it down, because this has got to fold down that way, and then that hole there will come up and marry it with that, because when that hood opens, I think you've got that thing sticking up, and the hood opens, and I don't want to be replacing that there. So that is the ram pusher all mocked up and in place. Welded the 2 sides on, all in the right place. That's in its stowage position at the minute. The 2 holes up there that you can see, there's 2 bits of threaded rod that go through there that will hold the ram in position. But as I say, we're going to end up having to do something down the bottom here, which we weren't 100% certain about until we actually got to it. So obviously that bolt will get removed, this will stand up, and then those 2 bolts there will line up with those 2. And then that will go down onto that. But something else that we've also noticed is that when that bar shears, this lump here is going to come down onto here, which means that that could be down here, but the actual ram pusher could be here. So we're going to have to put a plate across here, so it's still got that flexibility when it does go, but it's somewhere near where the ram pusher can push it back in place. So we can do that. Warrior welder, this is the first time I've ever used it. People rave about them, so we had one. Thought it's going to do. First side I welded on, sort of okay. Hadn't quite got the settings dialed in, but then got involved in the other side, and I don't think that's too bad for somebody that sits behind a desk. So that is where it's going to be for tonight, because they need to run this machine at 6 o'clock tonight. It's now coming up to 3. They have a 3-hour cool down of hot works, so it'll be monitoring it. And what they've got for monitoring it is this bit of kit. So that bit just there, I don't know if you can see the orange bit. Let's see how hot JMO is. This says you're quite hot, JMO. People have been lying about you, JMO. This machine here says you're quite hot. So as you can see, that bit there shows up as being hot because we've just been welding that. And what they'll do is they'll go over the machine and see if there's any hot spots in the wood, because you do get a bit of a wood build-up on machines like this. So you've got wood there, and you can use this to detect how warm it is. I know there's bits of orange in there, but actually it's not as bright orange as that. And the other side, as you can see, that's still warm as well, but then when you go onto the machine itself, it is different. And if you look at the top, it's actually registering the temperature, so it's 22 degrees there. If you come over to what's been welded, nearly 50 degrees. So yeah, I don't know how much that is. It's fluke, so it won't be cheap. What a great bit of kit. So we've left site for the day, and we need to pick up, or sort out at least, the hydraulic hoses for the push ramp on top. So we've actually got an account with a company up in Birmingham, and as luck would have it, they've got a branch just around the corner from the site. So we're just going to pop in here and pick up some hoses. We need to sort out the hydraulic couplings. I think what we're going to do is we're going to tell them what we want, and then come back tomorrow, give them a chance to get it all together, and we'll come back tomorrow and pick it up. And then because we're here on Wednesday, we've got other stuff to do tomorrow, so we're going to pick these bits up now. Sort these bits out now, pick them up tomorrow, fit on Wednesday. So this is the company, Interpump, used to be IMM Hydraulics. As I say, we've got an account with... Are you parking, Jamie? We're just going to sit in the middle. Jamo's parking. So like I say, we've got an account with the Birmingham branch, so we'll just pop in here, tell them what we want, and we'll pick this up tomorrow.
The workshop, another busy one today. We've got Steve, he is carrying on with the fabrication for the trommel frame, the 3012 trommel. Just over here, we've got Connor's bay. Connor is currently working on the drum for that same trommel. So we've got the motor side over here. So this is fully welded. We've got the chain ring gear on the back there. We've got the mesh, the plate that the mesh bolts up to, fully welded on there. Coming over this way, we've got the front end. So this is the plate that the fifth wheel runs along, just here. On the other side, sorry. But yeah, this is the plate the fifth wheel runs along. All of the support gussets, because there's a lot of pressure on that fifth wheel and these plates. And then, yeah, that is pretty much it for this. There's a template to be tacked in here, obviously, as you've seen before, if not obviously. If you've seen before, we have the front and back templates. The back one stays in and gets fully welded as a lip to prevent material falling out the back. But then the front one does come out so that it's just easier for fabrication. So Connor's probably got another hour of welding in this, maybe. If that, maybe. Yeah, probably just under an hour of welding left in this. And then I believe the plan is for him and Rob to start putting the main drum together. So that is the channel length between those two bits of drum that I've just shown you. And then just in here, we've got Rob, who is currently putting together the infeed hopper. So we've got all the sides, well, both the sides welded up, the front section welded up, and the back section, which doesn't have any welding doing to it. So Rob's about to get that tacked, or both of those tacked up to this side section, and then off to the next side section up to it, and then weld it as it touches. So just double check all the measurements, but it semi-fits how it fits. Coming along this way, avoiding the music from Colin's cutting room, we can show you the assembly area where we have an E21 ready for Sean to come and wire up. So Sean was in on Wednesday, so we just want to make sure he's got enough time to get this done, so which he has. This is Sean. Sean will be doing this on Wednesday. Yeah, not a lot else really for this. Just get that done and it can be sent out to the customer. I think Georgina has sold this as well, so as soon as that is done, we'll get it sent out. What else have we got in here? Ashley is currently working on the in-feed hopper for the Cayman Islands Trommel. So this is not far off being fully put together now, and then this can go outside on the frame and start getting the rest of the panel work around it. So yeah, that is probably everything for this update so far.
I just wanted to quickly jump into this week's episode to say that we've got an offer on all our mini screens at the moment. So you can order a mini screen for next year's pickup from us or delivery from us, £1,000 off, with a nominal deposit, which we will take now, and then we will secure your machine. Gavin is going to give you all the details about it, but that's the offer. It's live now. Contact the sales team and the number will be put on screen. So £1,000 off an E21 or an E21C, you're a winner.
We're in the cutting room. Colin is behind me programming some parts for the aggregates wash plant. So this is probably the first hearing of it, Adam, is it? Yeah, first you're hearing of the aggregate wash plants. That is our next big job in the workshop. That is going all the way up to Scotland, so that's very exciting. First of the big machines this year to be going up there. Hopefully many more to come throughout the next year or so. So this is a wash system. They have their unwashed aggregates, quite obviously, and then there are multiple conveyors and dewatering screens that this product will go through in order to give the customer a clean product that they can then sell on for increased value to their customers. So aggregate is often recycled sort of throughout lots of different industries, and then again used as a recycled aggregate within many more industries. So it's great for the environment, great for the economy, and it's great for us because it means we get to build more machines. So yeah, hopefully within the next few month or so, there will be a lot more about this aggregates wash plant.
So I've done all the welding now. I'm ready for putting both sides of the drum together. You saw that earlier, that's fully done. Don't know if you saw this earlier. This is a template ring, so this will come out eventually. This is just to locate the beams as they go in, just make it easier for me so the drum isn't twisted, offset. Yeah, beams over there. You should see more once the beams are in, so it will start to take shape.
So coming back into the network now, we've got the welding bay. The run pretty much fully together. So we've got the front and chain section both connected via the channel now. So Connor has got some ratchet straps on either side, just pulling it around, and that squares up the bars. So when you look alongside the bars, you can see when they're offset like that. That is when they are not sitting level with each other. So as soon as they're sitting flush and the measurements are all the same the whole way around, that is when we know that it is perfectly square and will spin perfectly round. So yeah, that is the trommel sort of taking shape now. Coming back through this way into Rob's bay, just past that. He is just finishing off fabrication of the in-feed hopper. So just making a final parts fit. Sometimes you have to use a hammer to persuade the material to where it wants to go. So yeah, we've got the sides welded up, fully welded up as you've seen before. So all that's left in this will be welding up inside, welding on the lifting eyes, and then yeah, that is the conveyor infeed hopper done.
Right, it's Tuesday morning. This is a Rob update because Archie's not here. So this you would have seen me working on already. This is the hopper. This is fully completed now. It'll probably just need going over, a little bit of cleaning, and then that's ready for paint. Follow me inside, we'll look at what Steve's doing. He's working on the frame. But in this bay here, Steve's taking up a bit of Fluffy's bay because the frame's so big. Steve's working on the frame for the new 3012 Trommel. Yeah, just getting all the bars in now and welding up. Down in my bay, other part of Connor's, just because of the size of the drum. Connor's at college today, so I'm welding this up. He started it yesterday, I'm finishing it, and then I'll move on to some panel work later. Yeah, this is almost done, just a couple of folded bits to put on it. And then if you follow me again, we'll head outside and we'll look at the Cayman Islands Trommel, which is being assembled. So, what have we got? We have the oversized conveyor for Cayman Islands Trommel. That's a separate entity to the actual frame, so it doesn't need to be put on yet. It'll probably be put in place to test it, but for now it sits over there out of the way. And then, yeah, Ashley and Stuart are working on putting this together. Getting all the doors on, and then stickers. And whatever else needs doing. Basically, that's it.
Tuesday morning and we're back on site. First bit of it's not actually morning, is it, JMO? It's actually JMO's holding me up this week. Last week, couldn't give a monkeys. Couldn't give a monkeys. I'm having to do all the work this week. So, yeah, it's Tuesday afternoon now, isn't it? Yeah, Tuesday afternoon. Haven't had a chance to do any filming yet. Let's just get you up to date at where we are with this job. So the feed wheel at the top, when this hood comes down and it's working, I'll explain that in a minute. When that feed wheel, when that hood comes down and closes up the cutter mill here, that feed wheel there is on a pivot on there, so the feed wheel can float up and down, lifted up and down by that ram there. And then what that does is, as the material's being fed to the shredder in there where JMO's standing, that actually is powered and it rotates and sort of compresses the material and just feeds it into the cutter mill. But on the end of, you've got what we call the crocodile teeth on there, and that's what JMO's just pointed at just there. I've welded them on, there's 16 of them, so welded them on this morning. We did the middle bars on a previous visit, we've just done them this morning, so I've welded them in this morning, and now we're going to change these grates underneath here, which involves taking off some cheap plates down there that go all the way around under to the other side, both sides. There's two wedgie blocks there. JMO will pick that up and show you that. So that block goes sort of in there and gets bolted underneath to hold them all nice and tight. And then this side we've got these anvils here, which as these hammers are swinging out, these hammers, when this is going under centrifugal force, just lift a hammer up, JMO. They fly out like that. So as the material is getting fed into it, they whack hell out of the material and bring it round, and then forces it between these anvils that look like shark fins. They did have a lump of metal go through that broke that one off, so they've got a second-hand one just there, which we're going to put that in for them when that comes out. But you've got to take these out before you can take the grates out this side, because at the bottom underneath is a block. So you stack these grates in this side to the block, and they will come out this way. And then the other side, they will come down to that block and go this side. So you can't push them all the way around and out one side, which is a bit of a faff. So these are held in by 3 big bolts on each one. Where's them big bolts, JMO? You got one up there? So them big bolts there go through these anvils and bolt it to the actual base of the mill, and they're all 46 mil, except one of them. One of them, I think, has been changed for an imperial size, which I think is going to be about 1 3/4. But we haven't got an 1 3/4 socket. We've only got 46, and it spins on the nut. So that piece there, I'm hoping, is going to work. So that piece of metal I've just had in my hand is actually further around the socket than you think. I thought I'd got plenty there. I thought I'd have too much. So I've just bent it to the shape of the socket. We're going to feed that onto the nut now and see if that's enough just to undo it. The bolt is actually loose, but with a lot of these bolts on here, you'd be amazed how the wood dust and the vibration will pack itself into a thread. So let's see if this works. No, didn't work. So Jamo's just going to get some more of that flat strip. I think we might have to double it up and put some more in there. I think it will work. We just need to just get it right. So we're doubled up in there. Just want to give that a little tweak with a pair of pliers. Jamo's knocking the bolts out. Knocking them out on the belt underneath by the sounds of it, Jamo. And because we've been welding the bottom belt underneath here, we've drenched it in water to prevent a fire. So we're trying not to drop stuff underneath. Have you found it, Jamo?
Yeah.
Oh. Jamo's put his water wings on and gone down into the dark abyss underneath there. And then that belt runs all the way back to here somewhere, down the bottom. So yeah, that's soaked in water because of the fire prevention earlier on. Right, let's have a crack with this. Let's go for third time lucky. What it's done, I'll show you. When you push the socket onto the nut, it pushes that banding down. That banding could be doing with a bit.
Pull them two up between you, George. Nice. So George is just moving some of the welding curtains now, as he is back from college. He has returned because at 10:45 today, they ran out of water. They've had an issue with the water. They couldn't get it sorted. So George is back at work for the rest of the day. So George's job is to weld on the lifting eyes onto these hoops. So these go over the top of the drum for the 3012 Raptor. So yeah, George's job, get them lifting eyes on. Steve is next door with the rest. If I don't want to push this into George. With the rest of the framework. So we've got the rest of the main frame here. We've got the wheel mounts ready to be welded on. Steve has got pretty much everything welded for this frame for the main sectional steel. There's a few folded plates to go up on the sides here. That is what the doors will bolt to, and then the sort of top hoops and archways and whatnot. So there's still that left to do over here. Coming over this way in Connor's Bay, he is working on the doors. So there are three pairs of doors again for this trommel. We've got small, medium and large. Yeah, Connor's tacking them up at the minute. We're going to test fit them, and then once we're happy with how they fit, we're going to get them fully welded up. So yeah, that's going well. And then coming through here, we've got Rob, who is currently just changing the gas on his welder. He is finishing welding the trommel drum. What's left on this now, Rob?
Well,
how long? An hour. Rob reckons there's about an hour left. So once Rob's got this done, we'll get it all cleaned up, and then, depending on the time and just double checking the parts, we will get the meshes rolled for it. So yeah, we can get that done. I know we can't do is, on these meshes, we have bolt-on end plates, sort of bolt-on flanges, that tension the mesh. So George, the CAD engineer, he isn't in this week until Thursday, so we've only got tomorrow without him really, now. So that I know we can't do. It's just easier if he does it. It's all on the memory stick. So we may be able to roll the meshes, and then as soon as George is back, he can get the design sorted. We can get them cut and folded, get them bolted up, and then get this sprayed. So this will be going matte black like the rest of our trommel's drum. Don't step back. Or George and Stuart just carrying a mesh through the workshop. So we'll show you what this mesh is for actually. If we just follow them through, not in a weird way. This is an E21C mesh. It's a standard size So all of our E21C meshes are identical in length and width. The things that change is the diameter or the size of the holes in the sort of main punch section. So on this, I don't know what this one is to be fair, 40 maybe? Yeah, 40mm mesh for the top. So that is all interwoven together, all of them bits of mesh wire. And then underneath is having a 15mm square mesh as well. So we supply two different types of meshes here. We have the square or three if you include punch plate. We've got square, punch plate and the piano mesh. So the square is, as you can see here, the punch plate is out of solid material. So we will cut some 8mm, 6mm, 10mm, hard ox, standard material, whatever is requested, whatever's required for the need. We can cut them in, so we can have hex holes, we can have squares, circles, whatever's sort of desired really. So that often changes depending on the material being processed. And then we have the piano meshes, which are similar to these. So you get a few rows of square meshes, square holes, and then you get a few long rectangles, which gives you the same size material coming out at the bottom for the fine, but they are what they call auto cleaning. So it makes it a lot easier when you are processing wet or sticky materials. So the sticker is on this door now. The back door is yet to go on, so that's going to be put on next. But yeah, it's looking good. The stickers and the doors really do start finishing this off. So next step for this will be getting the chain around the drum, getting the panel work bolted to the archways and the rest of the sort of front and back panels. And then that is pretty much it up until hydraulics. So yeah, stay tuned.
Let's go for third time lucky. What it's done, I'll show you. When you push the socket onto the nut, it pushes that banding down. That banding could be doing with it being a bit wider. So we're going to have to put another layer on top, because when we push that on the socket, it's just pushing that down. So let's go for third time lucky. Fingers crossed. Let's ask JMO and see if he thinks it. JMO, is this going to work?
I hope so.
You reckon?
I think it will, yeah.
Right, let's give it a go, because the clock is running. We've got to be done, because night shift wants to shred with this, and we've still got quite a bit to do. So the bush fix worked. I managed to get that last bolt out. So we've rolled them anvils back now. And now we've got to get them out. But the clock is ticking. I want to run this in a bit, and it's, what is it, 3:30, JMO?
Yeah, I think so.
We've got quite a bit to do, so we better crack on. So we're using the telehandler to lift them grids out. Got JMO up top, hooking up. I'm in the telehandler lifting them out and lifting them down. Can we see if I can wedge this somewhere and get on a time lapse? So there's been a kerfuffle. I'll show you what I mean. So we've got all the grids in. Trying to put the last piece in, and it's really tight. And just having a look around, you can see that doesn't look it on the camera. That's actually quite a big gap there. And you come along, actually touching, gap between the fingers there. Big gap between the fingers here. But down here, the fingers are touching. So actually what's happened is, all of these grids have bent and moulded themselves together. And now we're in a position where it's crept this way, and we can't get the last piece in. So I'm just going to ring a customer and speak to them and say we're going to have to put it back how we found it. And the only way we can do this is to put new grids in. It's about 7:30. And me and JMO are still grafting. As I used to say to some of my guys years ago, we start when we're done, not when we're tired. We thought we grew out of that. We're back at it now. So we've had a few disasters. Let's fill you in. So that thing there, hanging on the forklift, that bit should be in there. But because we've turned, remember these used to be squares, so they were fingers, and now we've turned them around opposites because they want a bigger hole in there, because over time these have worn and bent. Now we've turned them around, we've gained 5mm, 10mm, 15mm, 20mm, and we've got to here, and that bar down there does not fit in here. So because we are the service agents for this machine, I can actually ring the guys in the factory and say, look, if we just put those wedge blocks in there without that other bar, is that okay? And they said on wood, I think it'll be okay. So we've had to build them up with weld a little bit. Probably seen there, bit of weld been built up on there, just to make them a little bit fatter so they fit, but they're in and tight now. So the cheek plates down the sides, which is them radius plates there, they're in, same this side. And JMO is just nutting and bolting the handbills in. On a scale of 1 to 10, Jamie, how much have you enjoyed your day?
Oh, I loved it.
Yeah, is that a solid 10?
Yeah, I'll give it a solid 10.
It's a 10 from JMO today. Living the dream. Can't do this next week, JMO.
No,
have I mentioned that today at all?
Yeah, a few times.
Yeah, a few times I've mentioned it. So we're going to bolt them in now. Have a bit of a tidy up, because there's stuff all over the hockey here at the minute. Have a bit of a tidy up and call it a day. I think it will be a McDonald's dinner, JMO, I'm afraid, tonight. Other fast food restaurants are available. Right, we'll catch you in the morning. So it's Wednesday morning, back on site. Finished about 8 o'clock last night and got back to the hotel about 8:30. So yeah, late one last night, back at it this morning. Just finishing off this pusher ram, and we've gone old school this morning. So as I say, we needed to modify this pusher to work on there and that, but we've got the gas out this morning. It's a bit rusty. I used to be quite good on the gas, but I'm a bit rusty these days. But we've profiled these out, got a bit of cardboard, drew round it, so we've gone proper old school this morning. Haven't fully welded to the top on here, because I'm not sure how that is going to coincide with the other part on there, so that's why I've not fully welded that, before anybody puts anything in the comments. So we're going to get that up there now and see what it looks like. I came back up. Lovely job. So that's that job finished off. Just on our way back home now. How was your last week working with me, been JMO?
It's been alright.
Alright?
It's like the old times.
It is just like the old times, isn't it? Me dragging you around site, getting you to do stuff,
Yeah.
keeping you motivated.
That's it. That's all I need.
Yeah, we've had a good week this week. I've enjoyed working with Jamie this week. It is just like old times. How long have you been here now? 4 years, did you say?
Yeah.
So yeah, Jamie's seen quite a bit over the last 4 years, and I've actually enjoyed working with Jamie, and it'll be sad to not work with Jamie again in the future. But who knows? Who knows, JMO? You never say never.
That's it.
Right, let's get back to the yard and see what everybody else has been doing.
Yeah, and then we'll get everything sorted so they stop so as soon as they come back.
That's going to come back and
Yeah.
that, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I don't know if we're reversing the motor or make it go the opposite way with it, and it sends it forward.
Maybe. Oh, we can change the sprocket size to adjust the speed as well.
Let's try again.
Yeah, give it a go. Does that slow it still go? Oh, really? That'll work though, I think. We'll just get some wheels so it doesn't bash that.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. The top secret trommel project is behind me now. Sean has just wired it up. So the first step of testing is done. We're happy with that. Some few adjustments we need to make just to make sure it runs perfectly. There's still some panels to go on, but it's just open so we can get the motor wired up easier. But yeah, that is working as we want it to so far. So I believe over the next few days we'll do a bit more testing when Gab's back. And then you should see this. Probably, you'll probably next see this was just done processing material, and Gav can have a chat about it. So 5-ton rock bucket in Connor's bay at the minute. He has already ground out and welded the crack. So all that's left is just to plate up the crack. It's a very, very small job, this bucket is. So hopefully within the next half hour maybe, he will be done. So yeah, that's what's left. Browse, DXF, frame. So back post cover, 661.
This is 665.
Right.
But it needs to be 490, doesn't it?
George, how wide are they? Yeah. If we lift up a bit. If you go over that side a bit. Just across here. Right, put yours down. So that is a offcut 5mm loaded up. So some of the parts on the memory stick are wrong for the 3012 Raptor, which does occasionally happen. There are little mistakes that happen all across the process of making such bespoke machines. So it's going to happen. I think out of everything that we've had on the memory sticks, there's not much else that's been wrong really. So we cannot complain at all. George has done a smashing job again with this. So yeah, I've just drawn up some new parts for George and Steve to use. So I'll take you into the workshop and show you where they're at. So Rob and Steve are in this bay at the minute. Rob is just getting some of the bunker panels ready to put the sheets on. So there's some 3mm sheets that essentially allow the material to stockpile underneath the main trommel. So yeah, Rob's just carrying them through into his bay. They have been prefabricated already by George, as in the new shapes have been prefabricated. So yeah, Rob's bay nice and clear, ready for the sheets to go on. So, very exciting news as well. Colin is smashing it through the wash plant, the aggregate wash plant job. The cutting is going very well on that. We've got more material arriving today, so just waiting on that to arrive. As soon as that does, Colin can cut a load more up. So he's doing really well on that. A little bit noisy with the impact gun. Well, Ashley and Stuart outside, they are currently putting the oversized conveyor legs on. So they're just getting that ready, and then they are going to pre-drill the holes in the plates just to make it easier for when we get over to the Caribbean. So yeah, that's looking very good, very cool that is really. And then coming over to the main trommel, what we can see is all the doors are now fully on, fully stickered up. The drum is on, the chain is over the ring gear, as you can see at the top there. So yeah, there really isn't much left for this now. There is the rest of the panel work, which is mainly internal, but there are some external, for example, the archways. And then the back panel here. So that is going to be Stuart and Ashley's job today. Steve's just going to show them where the panels are and whatnot, and which goes where, just to make sure, because he test fitted them. So yeah, as soon as they're all test fitted, or put on fully, I'll get Adam to come out again. We can have another look at this and show you how it's going. So yeah, I'm happy with this. So currently in the stores room, a little bit quieter out of all the place in the workshop. Just thought I'd say about the new jobs we're starting. So I have brought to the attention of Andrea and Georgina in the office that we have a space opening up in the next few weeks for some more work. So that is due to a number of reasons. We're flying through the work that we've currently got. So I probably overestimated how long a lot of the stuff would take us. So that is good news. Means we can fit more products in this year. It means more total revenue, which is great. So very happy to announce that we are going to be making 3 more E21Cs and another E21. So they will be put into stock unless you secure them now. So if you contact the office on this number and this email, however they are displayed up here, you can put a deposit down to secure one of these machines for you. They can be customized. So if you want a in-feed hopper, if you want an extended conveyor, extended greedy boards, speak to the office. Some of that will be an additional cost. But yeah, they are fully customizable. And if you are able to place an order and reserve within the next few weeks, we can almost certainly get it done in your color as well. So if your company color is purple or pink, we can get that done. But if they get painted beforehand, we won't be rubbing the paint off to paint it your color. So yeah, 3 more E21Cs and another E21, and that is due to the fact that the current stock that we have in the workshop and in the yard has been sold to customers from the show. So the Plant Works show has been working. Very happy with that. Georgina and Andrea, very happy in the office with the result of that as well. So yeah.
So my company update, not from Haggarda in Egypt, sadly, back from the office. So I think Archie might have just told you, I've put a request through to the team in the workshop. We are putting an order in for some more E21s, so our mini screens, E21Cs and E21s to be made, because we're getting lots of inquiries off the back of the Plant Works show, which is fabulous. And Georgina is just working through all of those. So part of our process is to forward plan. So we don't wait for an order, we plan in advance because we look at what the interest is like and what we know the market is like anyway. So we are pre-planning for further sales, which is always good. What else is new? You will have seen Gavin earlier in the video with this. So he is really excited to be a finalist for Businessman of the Year in our area. And we're really proud of him. We obviously think he's the winner, no matter what the outcome, but we're going to that event. He's taking a group of people, some family, a couple of people from work, and yeah, it should be a really good event. Incredibly proud of him. There's 5 people in the finalist for Businessman of the Year that Gavin's in, and yeah, we will keep you updated on that. I will probably take one of the cameras with me on the night actually and try and get a bit of footage from the event, because there's a great guest speaker who's hosting the event, and we'll all be in our fancy dresses, as in not fancy dress, but nice dresses and black tie. So yeah, really, really proud of him. That's it.
So we're finally starting on the first set of buckets. This is the first one. The floor is already cut out by a subcontractor. We got in for it. So all I've really been doing is cleaning it up, as you see the sides, taking some measurements for a new floor and trimming this down for the floor to sit on. I've taken measurements now, so I will go cut the new floor and then fit it in the bucket.
So right behind me, Steve and George are tack welding on the brackets for the panel work. So we have a lot of, I think it's 2mm panel work that goes along the side of this, and then these are the 5mm brackets that go behind, so the cage nuts bolt into the side of there, or sit inside of them that the panel work bolts to. So what they're doing is just tacking it up. They're going to then offer up the panel, just slip a bolt in sort of most of the bolt holes, just to make sure at least the corners and sort of one in the middle, just to make sure we're happy with them. Then yeah, I think there's some 4 pockets to go in there as well. And then once all that's welded up, it's a plan of lifting this entire frame up, which it's kind of 3:30 now, so they're probably going to get most of the panel work side of it done today, probably have a little bit to do tomorrow morning, and then they will be putting the panel work on, the bunkers on tomorrow afternoon hopefully. So fingers crossed, no hiccups in that process. Coming over here for that same project, so that is for the 3012 Raptor. Over here we've got Rob, who is currently tack welding up all of the rollers for the in-feed conveyor. So there are 10 rollers here. Most of our in-feed conveyors have 10 rollers. We like to make these in-house, very solid, heavy duty, bearings on either end, UCP bearings. So yeah, Rob's just tacking all of them up now. He's going to be welding them up afterwards. You can see a finished tacked up example just over here. So this is what they look like, but then they obviously get fully welded. So we've got a solid machine shaft, which Colin has machined for us. I think this is 30mm turned out to 25, yeah. So 30mm bright bar turned down to 25 to fit the bearings, drilled and tapped each end for an end washer. And then yeah, I think that's 6mm donuts, we call them 6mm donuts on the end. And then the actual tube itself, which is also pretty thick for rollers. So we like to make sure these are over-engineered, heavy duty, they're not going to dent and damage over time, or if they do, they take a lot longer. So what you find with a lot of conveyors is when there are impact, which these will be expecting, because the bucket loads into the bottom of the infeed hopper, they get dinks and dents over time, and then they start ripping the belt. So these have been designed in a way that they are thicker than they're what they need to be. Slightly more expensive, however, long term works out a lot cheaper than having to buy replacements. So yeah, we'll leave Rob to it. He'll be flying through them now. So when we do that, we try and do all of them at once, and then you get into a good process of getting them done. I think that's pretty much it, to be honest, for the 3012 Raptor today. The only other news is this E21C that Sean has been in today to wire up is all finished. So he's happy with it, and he said he thinks it is the quietest E21, sorry, E21C, quietest E21 that we've made. So they're all dead silent. If you speak to any of our customers, that is the one thing that a lot of them say when they come for test days, demo days, is how quiet it is. It is pretty amazing, to be honest. So I often find that you can have a perfectly normal conversation with customers whilst the machine is running, and half the time they don't even know it's on because it is just so quiet. Yeah, great in very small environments. So in small workshops we don't have too much space and noise will become an issue. These do work great. So this is the oversized conveyor for the Cayman Islands Trommel. Pretty much all done. All that's left now is the head motor parts of it, which is the hydraulic motors that are all in now. That should be myself and Gav working on it tomorrow. Yeah, it's all on the legs. Stuart and Ashley have bolted these up. It's looking very good. It's a lot taller than I expected to be honest. I don't know what I was quite expecting, but the actual discharge height is very tall. So it's got a good chevron belt on this. Yeah, the customer's gonna love it, I think. What is the time? It's Thursday morning, 10:46, and it's Jamie's last day today. So we've got him a card. He hasn't seen this yet. We've got him a card. It's a with sympathy card because, you know, very sad that he's leaving us. So we appreciate he's going to be very distraught driving up to Lake District. So yeah, all of our sympathies are going to Jamie. So yeah, so far everyone from the office has signed the card. We just need to get everyone else from the yard in the workshop to sign it. So yeah, I'm going to put my little note down to him and then pass it around to everyone else. How's the bucket going? All right. So Connor is currently reversing the forklift out of his bay. So in his bay at the minute, he has now tacked in the floor for this bucket. So this is all in one piece. I think this bucket, I don't have a tape measure on me, 9 foot off the top of my head, 8 or 9 foot. So yeah, quite a wide bucket. So floor cut out of a 3 metre sheet. I think it's 2.7 metres, whatever that is in foot. Got the cutting, the wear strips to go on as well. Yeah, it's looking good to be honest. Got a bit chunk of welding now, bit of prep, bit of welding. That'll come on for a little while, probably get time lapse on that. If Adam sorts that out. Battery doesn't come in. So at the minute, the archways are on the trommel now, and Ashley is currently putting on the motors for the head rollers on both of the conveyors. So the fines conveyor underneath and then the oversized conveyor out front. That is what Ashley is doing this afternoon. So yeah, so far so good. They've got a jaw style coupling, which is different to how we normally do it because these are hydraulic motors obviously, but should be all okay.
Okay, so this week's fun fact. We haven't done a fun fact for a few weeks, have we, Adam? Been a bit slack on that.
Did one last week in the ferry, isn't it?
Oh, I did that one, but it wasn't a British engineering fun fact. So we're back on British engineering fun facts. And this one is truly British. I'm not sure where Adam's got this one from. What on earth he searched up for this, but it's interesting. The sewer gas destructor lamp was invented in the 19th century to combat odours and dangerous gases from London sewers. So I've got a very basic description here. Basically, from what I can see was there was a vent from the sewers underground. It would go up, the gases from the sewers would go up and get burnt off in this lantern. And what it did was it burnt off all the smells and all the odours and everything, but also it was used to light the streets outside. There was 1,500 of them installed across the UK, especially London, Sheffield and Leicester, and some still exist today. One of the most famous was one in Carting Lane near the Savoy Hotel in London, famously known as Farting Lane. Only Adam would find that as a fun fact this week. Okay, now I want to say something else on here, to be honest. Cast your mind back a few weeks ago, I was talking about the calibre of people in the workplace, how, you know, it seems very difficult to sort of find good staff. And this week has probably highlighted that to a degree, because, as you know by now, this is JMO's last week. Now, JMO's worked for me for the last 4 years, and, you know, JMO's always been a grafter. He's always been dependable. He's always come to work with the right attitude for work, and everything that I've asked of him he's done, and to the point where it becomes pleasurable working with people like JMO, and it has been pleasurable working for people, you know, it's been pleasurable working with JMO for the last 4 years. And it goes, you know, it's people like that that make the team like we have here at Spitfire work. And I am quite lucky here that everybody here at Spitfire has been handpicked by myself and Andrea in that to work as part of the team, because we've always had the emphasis, a very strong emphasis on we're building a team, not a business. If we get the team right, then the business will follow. And JMO has really sort of fell into that really, and has become sort of, you know, quite Spitfire, I suppose you could say, over the years. So it's a shame that we're losing him this week. We've lost him to a girl up north in the country, is what we've done. These things happen. So as we all know, JMO is leaving us for a girl.
What a boy!
JMO's worked here for 4 years, and I can't remember. George, you were here before JMO, weren't you?
Just me.
Whoa. Archie was there.
And Archie. But nobody else here has known work without JMO being about. So that's actually quite a sad day, really. But we wish Jamie all the well for the future. The door is always open here.
Thank you very much.
If ever you want to come back.
When you want to come back.
We've left you some lovely messages in your card. Massive disappointment you didn't bring cakes in today, JMO, if I'm honest. Archie's covered all that off for you, has he? Crikey, somebody's added some stuff in here, haven't they? But yeah, just wanted to wish Jamie all the best, pull everybody together, and probably see if we could make him cry, really, to be honest, and hopefully change his mind. So yeah, all the best, JMO. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
He's going.
Come on holiday.
Just stay here.
I'll let you go.
So, you know, we truly wish JMO well, and, you know, if ever he needed a good reference, I certainly would give him a good reference. You know, it will be a loss to the team, and it's a shame that JMO's time at Spitfire has come to an end, but it is one of those things. But that does lead me on to a conversation I had this week with somebody I've known for probably the best part of 20 years. He runs a skip hire business. I think he actually watches the channel, actually. I had a conversation with him this week, and he's packing up skips, packing them up. He said to me, he says that they've got to the point now where they're struggling so much to get hold of good staff that it's just become unworkable for them. And then the government is changing the rules and regulations about disposing of waste. They've put national insurance up this year. Minimum wage has gone up because obviously some of the jobs in the skip industry are minimum wage jobs, you know, picking and just working in the yard, that sort of thing. He says, so you know, all the costs have gone up, the regulations are going up, and it's just got to the point now where it's just not worth doing for them. So they've got other business interests that they're going to concentrate on. But I just thought, you know, a follow-on from previous episodes where I've said about, you know, finding good staff is an issue. We're losing good staff this week. And, you know, talking to somebody that I know that has actually taken the quite drastic steps of actually closing down part of their business. And one of the main reasons that is happening is lack of good staff, and the staff that you have got are becoming more and more expensive, that is squeezing the margins. The skip industry in particular has always been, whoever's got the cheapest skips generally is the one that gets all the work. So it's very cutthroat. You know, people will, if a skip over there is £300 and over there it's £320, this person over here will be dead busy and that person over there won't be. So it's not like you could turn around and say, well, you've had an increase in all these costs, whack the price of your skips up, because it'll be the person in the area that didn't put their price up that will get all the work. So really interesting times at the minute, and it'll be interesting to see how things develop over the next few years, because I do think this is a big problem. We've had a big problem over the years with apprenticeships, which I think I can see, you know, sunlight on the horizon on that, and I do think apprenticeships are becoming more and more stable. But this whole culture and work ethos in the workplace is starting to bite, and it is becoming a big problem.
Okay, Saturday morning, me and Andrea are out, we're delivering. We've got what was D&J Projects first mini screen. They've got the latest version now, but we've got their original machine. Let me walk you around it and I'll show you what we've changed since that machine to the machine we've got now.
So this is the D&J Trommel. Some of the changes that we made since we built this. The obvious ones are springs. Went from springs to rosters, and the main reason we did that was the box sits on top of the springs, and in transport you can see how I've got it tied down on here, but people in the past were tying it onto here and it was bouncing off, so we couldn't have that. So that was one of the main reasons why we went to rosters. Other changes we've made, this is different now. We don't have the bar sticking out the front. There is a plate welded down there with a bracket in there and bolts, so we don't have this tension arrangement here. That's different. Conveyor is different on this one. This one hasn't got rollers inside. This is a slider bed, which is how we did it originally. There's basically a plate in the bottom that's bolted in on those bolts. But what you'd find if you didn't use it after for a month or two, say over winter you didn't use it, the moisture between the belt and the tray would actually stick the belt to it. It wasn't a big deal, you just set it running and just grabbed hold of it at the top so it gripped and it would pull itself free, but we changed it for that reason. We also had motorised drum rollers on this one, which on this one, this is its second roller. We changed it after this and went back to a motor and gearbox, as you will see on our current models, because believe it or not, that head roller failed on this particular machine. So we actually changed it and we went back to our Nord motor and gearboxes, which is who we use now. But in essence, the box is still the same, it's still original. Some slight tweaks and changes. These top mounts they're bolt-on now. We changed that to bolt-on. Not that we had a problem with this, but welding on vibrating screen boxes, you just want to limit it as much as possible. So we've made them bolt-on now. As I say, rosters on there. Conveyor's different. The frame's all still the same. Same box, same frame, same principle. At one point this actually got sold with a generator here, which is something we don't do anymore, which is what these plates are for, because we did a universal sort of bracket to carry a generator on. But all you find is that the generator sits here, and because it's a dusty environment, it just wrecks the generator. So we've now done it so that the generator can sit away from the machine upwind. You can position the generator where it needs to be upwind, and that seems to work better. Dave also had that bit put on there, which is something that we don't do, because that's what he wanted for his grab, so it didn't roll off the top. We don't tend to put that on there because I always think that if you're loading it with a digger and that's likely to get smacked. But I think Dave was loading this with his grab, so it probably wasn't as bad. But yeah, we did that as a one-off for Dave when he bought it. Dave didn't actually buy this machine through us. He actually bought it at the time. We had a dealer, and he actually bought it through the dealer. And actually, I met Dave, ironically, in that when the top roller failed, he come direct to us, and that's sort of where I know Dave. I think he's had this 4 years. This is 4 years old, I think now this is, and through testament to these machines, I'm not going to say how much this guy's paid for it, but it has held its value quite well, shall we say. So yeah, they're a good investment. Don't lose a lot of money on these machines. Dave thinks he's put hundreds, if not thousands of tons through this machine, and it's still in good nick. We've gone over it, we've serviced it, and just sort of checked it all over, cleaned it all up, put some new stickers on it, that sort of thing. Just made sure everything works, tracked the belt, that sort of stuff. Put some new meshes in it because they were a little bit bent and bashed. So yeah, new meshes in the top and bottom of the deck. So yeah, going to get this off to its new home now.
Are there any like grease nipples that are hidden?
You've got any grease nipples you've got on this. You've got that one there and the one on the other side, and that is it. Just two on the bottom roller. Nothing on the top. There's nothing on the vibrating motor, and that is it. Yeah. So yeah, just plug it in, turn it on, and load it.
So that's it for this week. A sad week this week, losing good people, good friends, but we wish them well, as I say. So we'll catch you on the next episode.
You ready?
Yeah.
Are you ready then, big man?
Oh, thank you.
And they call me the General.